Hello again to another Agricolor Reacts, and today we are watching is the US running out of the social security from Box. And let's just see, because kinda interested in that.
Social Security's in trouble.
The program is quickly running out of cash.
Millennials and younger don't believe that they're going to get a penny of Social Security.
As a millennial, this has been my introduction to Social Security. It's like the government pulls some money from my paycheck and then it goes into some imaginary fund that maybe I'll never see again. The truth is, I know embarrassingly little about this program that most Americans rely on for retirement. Before you go and dive into the comments, it seems nobody gets it. This poll looked at people near the retirement age who are about to start collecting it. But rather than succumb to the void like I want to,
I'm sorry.
Entirely too much.
Does Social Security in America just means retirement money? That's all? Nothing else? Because to me, Social Security means healthcare, traffic, like taking care of the roads and stuff like that. Social Security just basically means that if I am in trouble here, I gonna have some kind of net that I can fall onto. Like, you know, if I be in an accident or I'm gonna get sick or something like that, I don't have to worry about it. I always thought that's what it means. But apparently not in America. That just means just basically Social Security in America is just and only for retirement?
About it so you don't have to. So what is Social Security? And is it actually doomed?
Okay, so they're gonna explain it. Cool.
It's really hard to overstate how important Social Security is.
The official name of Social Security is the Old Age Survivors and Disability Insurance Program.
It can kind of be broken down into three parts. Most people are familiar with the old age one. That's retirement.
Okay.
It's the biggest source of income for most retirees.
See the chart? Actually, here's an updated one. In 2022, this program alone was responsible for keeping nearly 16.5 million older Americans above the poverty line.
But it's also so important for families. It supports people when a parent or a spouse dies. You know, when they're still of working age. It supports people if they become disabled and are not able to continue working and supporting their families.
Okay, so it's not just retirement.
Every U.S. worker pays into Social Security via payroll tax.
Well over 90% of American workers just pay 6.2% of their wages out of every paycheck into Social Security, and then their employers pay another 6.2%.
There is a cap on this tax, though, as in if you make more than a certain amount of money, the government's only going to tax a portion of it for Social Security.
The cap this year is $168,600.
Still with me, or are you sinking into the void of financial lingo?
I mean,
Come back. We're almost there. Now, you can literally look at your pay stub and see where the Social Security tax comes out. This money goes into two trust funds managed by the federal government and is then used to pay out the people who are currently collecting, typically in the form of monthly checks. When you retire, the size of that check is determined by the average of how much you've made throughout your working life and the age you start to collect. As of now, retirees can start collecting at age 62, but they won't max out the benefit unless they wait until they're 70. So, to recap, current workers pour money into trust funds, and those trust funds are used to pay out current beneficiaries. As long as people are working, this tax is being paid and there will always be money in those funds. So why does everybody keep saying it's being drained?
Because too many people.
The reason that Social Security faces a long-term financing shortfall is the aging of the population.
Yeah, that too.
In other words, boomers.
Oh, come on, stop
it.
it.
Population. As you can see, there's a bump here. That's the baby boomer generation. For decades, this jump...
I mean, yeah, I'm a millennial as well, and I would love to blame everyone on boomers, but the thing is as well, I can't really do it because I'm not living in America. Most of the time, boomers are kind of like, yeah, they're sort of responsible for things like that in America, but they wouldn't, like, I made, I think last week's video was in regards to something like that as well, and they pointed out about housing, there you go. And the man that was making that video pointed out that the same situation doesn't apply to, let's say, boomers in China, because they weren't. The same thing doesn't apply to boomers in Russia, probably, in Poland, all of the past Iron Curtain countries and stuff like that, and all of those people that they are actually in developing countries and things like that, in South America and things. So it's mostly Western countries. But I don't know. That's what I think about it. You can't really blame everyone on boomers, but the thing is, yes, the population in general is aging, so it's not going to stop aging because we are having more science behind all of the medical thing, and like our health is better as well, so we're living longer. And then the same thing as well, the other problem is as well, we're having less children, and this is part of me being a problem, because I don't have children and I don't want to have children. So that means if I don't have children, who is going to work to pay me that social security when I gonna retire? There won't be, I won't have children that are gonna be paying from their work to do that. And there's more and more people that they don't have children, or they have less children. Let's say people like, I don't know, there was like let's say, I don't know about America how the statistics are, but let's say in Poland statistically I think there's only 3/4 a child or something like that. So basically there's only one child per household because it's too expensive to have more. Yeah, this is something that kind of goes on me.
Population was the main workforce that paid into Social Security. That means more people were putting money in than taking money out. So those trust funds that we talked about earlier had a surplus, and the US Treasury took that extra money and invested it.
And lost.
And those investments ultimately gave us a $2.9 trillion reserve.
Okay,
Then
so where
came
is that
2021.
now? Okay.
At this point, Social Security stopped
yeah.
operating in a surplus and actually fell into a deficit because more and more people started to collect.
We just don't have quite as many workers supporting each beneficiary as we used to.
Yeah.
But it's fine right now because 2.9 trillion is a nice pile of money that's been supplementing the shortfall. So every Social Security check a beneficiary gets right now is kind of made up of two things. About 80% of that is the trust funds that are being filled by everyone still working, and about 20% is coming from that $2.9 trillion surplus. And that surplus is what's predicted to run out by 2033.
And then after that point, about 10 years from now, there is some uncertainty about what will happen.
What won't happen is a total draining of Social Security. There will always be benefits in some form.
It may look different from the Social Security benefits that are paid now, but there's really no question of whether Social Security benefits will be paid far into the future.
What those benefits look like entirely depends on how Congress decides to restructure the program to get over this baby boomer conundrum.
This episode is presented by Metro by T-Mobile. This tax season, Metro wants to help customers avoid wasting dollars by using their tax refunds to catch up on things that they want, not on things they don't. According to Metro, you don't take yada yada in life, so don't take yada yada from your wireless provider. Metro by T-Mobile has no contracts, no credit checks, and no surprises. Metro does not influence the editorial process of our videos, but they do help make videos like this possible. To learn more, you can stop by one of over 6,000 Metro stores nationwide. Now, back to the video.
So there are a few options for restructuring the program. Let's talk about the top 5 in a very bland and unbiased way. Starting with the high earners.
A lot of very wealthy people, they don't get their money through salaries. Like, I make more in a salary than Jeff Bezos does, for example. And so he pays less in Social Security than I do.
Thanks, Jeff. At least one bill is fighting to add a Social Security tax to high investment income, which is where a lot of rich people make and keep their money. Then there's this. We could remove or change that $168,000 salary cap.
The most popular option is to change the payroll tax cap. Either to get rid of it altogether or to raise it so that it covers more of, high wage people's earnings.
Why is that
to
not
send people into a rage, but they are kind of the most obvious. Raising the payroll tax would immediately start pumping more money into Social Security and help offset the imbalance of beneficiaries and workers. And cutting the amount each person can actually receive would balance those scales even further. But this is wildly unpopular across party lines and with the public. Granted, if Congress were to do nothing, in 2033, benefits would automatically decrease. And this option? You've probably heard this before. It did not go over well in France.
No, it doesn't go over well anywhere.
Raising the full retirement age is a benefit cut, full stop, for everybody. It means 7% lower benefits over a lifetime on average for each year that you raise the retirement age.
It's hard to predict exactly what Congress will do, but it's very likely they'll wait until the 11th hour to do it.
Because nobody really likes passing a benefit cut or a tax increase. For today's workers, the options are not a lot of fun. I mean, it's either you pay more or you get less or some combination thereof.
No matter what choice or combination of choices is made, there will be losers. Of all the things we can't agree on in the US, it's clear that across party lines and all ages, people value Social Security.
One of the beauties of the Social Security program is it's sort of like we're all in this together. You know, we're all funding these benefits, we're all benefiting from them, and it's kind of a compact between generations to take care of each other when we face retirement, death, or disability.
Okay. So that's this, but I wonder, why is there that wage gap, isn't it? Salary gap? Let's see, we might find some information that I can actually understand. Why there is salary gap in, what was it? Social Security? Okay, let's just go like that. Definition and causes. That's not in UK, in US. In USA, okay. Should we eliminate the Social Security tax cap? Is that this? I think that's it. Okay, so here we go. Social Security is the largest program in the federal budget and makes up 1/5 of total federal spending. It provides benefits to nearly 9 out of 10 individuals over the age of 65, or 15% of the American population. Without Social Security, research finds 2/3 of the elderly would be considered in poverty. The program, however, is facing financial shortfalls and its reserves are currently projected to be depleted. So it's basically the same thing. Okay, so what is the Social Security payroll tax? Where are we? The limit on annual earnings subject to Social Security taxes is referred to as the taxable maximum, or the Social Security tax cap. For 2024, that maximum is set at $168,600, an increase of $8,400 from the last year, when the payroll tax dedicated to Social Security was first implemented in 1937. Wow, that's okay. It was capped by statute at the first 3,000 of earnings, which would be equivalent to about 65. Oh wait, first 3,000 of earnings. That's this one here, isn't it? Which would be equivalent to about 65,462 in today's dollars. So wait, does that mean that basically, if someone earns, let's say, 200,000, he doesn't pay that? Employees each pay 766%, yeah? So he doesn't pay that 7-something% of 200,000, but just this 168,600? Is that what it is? Is that how I'm supposed to? I always struggle with understanding taxes, so I guess individual income taxes in the US are generally progressive, with higher income taxpayer paying a larger share of their income in taxes. Low and moderate income individuals, though, pay a higher proportion of their income in payroll taxes than do higher income taxpayers. Well, yeah, because in part that situation stems from the existence of the tax cap for Social Security. For example, someone with wage income of $67,000 per year would owe $4,154 for their share of Social Security taxes. However, someone with triple that income, $201, would owe $10,000, which is 2.5 times the amount of tax. Okay, so yeah, okay, so now I understand, okay. So, payroll taxes are regressive. So, the annual limit on wage earnings subject to social security taxes is set at $168,600 for 2024. Consequently, taxpayer C pays a lower percent of their income in payroll taxes than workers who earn less. So, yeah, because he earns more, and then he just paid that because it's capped at $168,000, and they pay all on that and on this. Okay. That cap should go, in my opinion. What if we lifted the social security tax cap? Taxpayer A, 50,000. Yeah, just pros and cons. What are pros and cons? Okay, so proponents of increasing or eliminating the limit on earnings argue that it would make the tax less progressive and be part of a solution to strengthen the Social Security Trust funds. For example, the Congressional Budget Office estimates that subjecting earnings above $250,000 to the payroll tax, in addition to those below the current taxable maximum, would raise more than $1 trillion in revenues over a 10-year period. Another argument is that removing the taxable maximum would adjust for increasing income inequality and the fact that that higher income individuals generally have longer life expectancies and thus receive larger social security benefit checks for a greater amount of time. Opponents argue that increasing or removing the taxable maximum could weaken the link between the amount individuals pay in social security taxes and the amount they receive in retirement benefits if benefits are not adjusted upward to reflect tax contributions. Opponents also contend that while low-income earners may pay a greater share of their income in social security payroll taxes than do those who are wealthier, they also receive a disproportionate share of government transfer payments that are not subject to the tax. Those opponents cite programs that have been created to, at least partially, offset the regressive nature of the Social Security payroll tax. Finally, a high-income beneficiary may also be subject to income taxes on the Social Security benefits they receive. So, do you have to pay on this tax on the Social Security? Let's see. If you have a social welfare payment, that's not this. You must pay taxes on social security benefits. You must pay taxes up to 85% of your social security benefits if you file a federal tax return as an individual and your combined income exceeds $25,000. Joint return and you and your spouse have combined income of more than $32,000. If you are married and file a separate return, you probably will have to pay taxes on your benefits. Is that what? I'm kind of confused with that. You must pay taxes on up to 85%. Yeah, that's confusing, guys. I don't know what's going on. So basically Social Security, it's not what I was thinking it is. It's just basically a retirement plan in America. And, well, mostly retirement plan in America. And that's what it is. So I learned something new definitely today. And I kind of understood a bit more on the whole thing about, how it works. And well, I talked a lot during the video as well, so I don't really have much more to add. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.